What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Front Four podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, joined by my co-host, Mark Hall, renowned defensive line trainer who you've seen over on the Fireside Giants show with me. And today, we're joined by a special guest, Ryder Anderson. Mark, I'll kick it off with you, man. I'm excited to talk some football, talk some defensive line with you. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Excited to be here. First episode. Got my man Ryder on here. You know what I'm saying? Been knowing him since he was a youngster. Had an opportunity to work with my uncle back in the day. So, I'm excited to have him on the first one. And, what I'm saying? Get to talk some D-line with him. And, not only that, some shit he does outside of football. And, what he thinks about the current state of the defensive line right now. We just trying to, get some information from him, see what he liking right now.
Yes, sir. Ryder, appreciate you joining us, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Appreciate you for having me.
Yes, sir. Mark, I know you want to talk specifically about a few of the top defensive lines in the NFL. We were chatting a little bit before we started recording and looking at some of these top units. There's some good pass rushers out there right now. There's some really good teams with some really strong units. Mark, why don't you take it away and let me hear your thoughts on some of these top defensive lines?
Yeah, it was funny. I wanted to kind of individualize it down to like a defensive end, a defensive tackle, but I said you're kind of doing it injustice and we don't have enough time to do it that way. So we want to just point out who has week 5, who's been kind of balling up front, man. And I kind of started my list out with Denver. I got 10 teams, 9-10 teams. So I started mine out with Denver, then the Giants, Colts, Green Bay, Rams, Jaguars, Seattle, Houston, and the Bears. And I know y'all are looking at the Bears like, I'm telling you, the Bears, they just missing one guy, and I think the Bears can really, really be a formidable D-line. I like what Sweat's doing. I like the young kid down in there, 99. That's a bad boy, Dexter. So, I really like what the Bears are doing. But what I want to kind of play, I want us to play a little game with this because I want us to kind of narrow this 9 I have down to 3. And if we can, let's narrow it down to 1. It's just going to be a little hard now because, people got players on certain teams. We ain't doing all that. We're just going to narrow it down to see who's playing week 5, what D-line is playing the best. And we damn sure don't want to just dictate that off of sacks. Let's look at how they're playing across the front. Are they getting off the field on third down? Are they applying pressure? Are they getting turnovers? Are they, dirty pocket, all that shit. So I guess I'll start with Ryder. Right now, who you got as your top 9 or 10 defensive line in the NFL right now?
Man, to go, man. I don't know, man. To go, I feel like once you start getting down into the, bottom after the top 5, that's where it kind of gets greasy for me. But
give me your top 5. Give me your top 5.
What I do know is who got the best. Who got the best one right now, man? I gotta go with Denver, bro. I gotta go with Denver D-line up there at 1, man. They're just it's like all them boys across the board are getting to it, bro. And they got the numbers to back it up, and that's something that every team definitely has to take into account. I feel like that's the first thing they see that they got the Broncos on the schedule. That's the first thing that they're looking at. They're like, all right, but how do we neutralize this D-line? And I feel like whenever that's your emphasis going into the week, that's the first thing.
He said Denver too. But I felt like when y'all said Denver, y'all was trying to individualize. But go ahead, keep going.
No, and then two, man, bro. I really like the Giants, bro. I really like the Giants. I know they're not having that good of a season right now, but that's my old team too. But at the same time, bro, I just gotta look at what they're putting together up front, and you got a lot of production. Even if they do have a sack leader. They have Brian Burns. I think he's he's top 5 right now in sacks. I don't know exactly where he falls on that list.
Top 3.
So yeah, but then even outside of that, it's just a lot of production. It's a lot of hurries on the quarterback. It's a lot of pressure being put on. Even if they're not getting home, they're making their presence known. And then after that, man, I'll leave the rest up to y'all. I just kind of chime in. But those are 2 defensive lines that I've really been locked in.
Yeah, give us one more, at least one more.
One more? But I feel like I'm so biased, bro, because I just be picking teams that I played on, but I really like the Saints. I really like the Saints defensive line. That's my sleeper.
Bro, the Saints ain't even in the top 10. But
I like the Saints defensive line, bro. If you watch them, bro, I like the Saints defensive line if you watch them. I understand the stats and I understand stuff like that, but they got some pieces up there, bro. They got Brian Brees in there that can really affect the quarterback rushing and in the run game. And then you got Carl Granderson. Carl Granderson up there on sacks. He's probably top 10 on sacks in the league. If I had to, I mean, like I said, I haven't looked up the numbers or anything.
I agree with you. I like Anderson. I do like those two.
Yes, and then you got the vet. You got Cam Jordan out there. He's still doing it. He's still doing it if you watch him.
Okay, so I have 9. I'll put them at 10. Bet.
All right, cool. Look, there go your 10. And then they still ain't even got Chase back. They ain't got Chase Young back yet from the calf injury. So he hasn't even. They've been doing that thing up front, and they don't even have one of their starters. So once he gets back to effect, he had a great season last year. He was like top 5 in quarterback hurries, which isn't sacks, but it's still affecting the game. So man, Saints, that's my little sleeper pick right there. That's your number 10.
All right, who you got, Anthony?
We're talking about some really good defensive lines here. Of course, I love the Giants defensive line. I talk about the Giants every day over on Fireside Giants, but I want to talk about Cleveland's defensive line, man. I'm surprised we've gone this far without mentioning Cleveland. Myles Garrett, reigning defensive player of the year, or the year prior. Last year it was Pat Surtain over in Denver, but Myles Garrett is a beast. I like that rookie Mason Graham out of Michigan. I like the way that he plays both against the run and the pass. He's really good. And they got Isaiah McGuire, who's been looking pretty good too. I like Cleveland's defensive line. They're definitely in the top 3 to 5 for me. They can do it against the run. They can get after the quarterback. That's a really good unit right there.
Okay. You got to give us 2 more, though.
I'll throw the Giants in there for sure.
Give us one more.
My guy Dexter Lawrence, man. I love him. And Brian Burns is playing at another level. And Kayvon Thibodeau is really coming into his own. He had a big year in 2023, 11.5 sacks. Last year, Thibodeau, a little bit slower, was dealing with some injuries. But then this year, fully healthy with all that help around him. And Abdul Carter is just ridiculous. It hasn't shown up in the stat sheet yet with sacks, but in terms of down-to-down disruption, Abdul Carter is really getting after it. And I like the Rams defensive line too. Jared Verse is really coming to his own over the last couple of years. And, they got a good, well-coached team over in Los Angeles. So I really like that Rams defensive front too.
Okay, cool.
That's solid.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to see, I mentioned all those. If I had to go to a top 3, man. If I had to go to a top 3, because I'm looking at all 4 guys. I'm not looking at least give me 3 guys that's balling, right? I don't want to look at just the edges. I don't want to look at just the inside guys. Give me 3 guys that's balling. So if I look at top 3, it's going to have to be the Giants at 1, right? For me. And then 2, two's getting tough. I like the Rams. And then I'm telling you, don't sleep on the Colts. I'm going for Colts at 3. The reason why I'm saying the Colts is not because of their record, not because, I got love over there.
Denver can't be outside your top 3, bro. Denver outside the top 3.
Denver just I need some more production from the inside.
What's missing? What's from the inside? They got
inside. It's just
they got Allen in there working, bro.
But it's just not the continuity not there all around like I've seen like last year yet.
Okay.
It's week 5 now. I'm just going based off week 5, right?
I got you.
Week 6, we're going into week 6. So Denver, they're going to be a strong 4 for me, but I like the Colts because I'm telling you what, the Colts have 2 great inside guys. They got 3 to 4 guys on the edge that can rush. I mean, they just, I'm telling you, like every week, it's a new guy getting a sack. It's a different type of D-line that they've had. They have more depth back there. They're rotating. I mean, they're getting the pocket super dirty. I like them. So that's gonna be my top 3. I'm gonna go Giants, Rams, and the Colts. And then I could even pair the Colts. I can't pair the Colts with Denver. Not right now. especially me having the opportunity to see Denver play the Colts earlier, and I just, it wasn't there. It wasn't there yet. It wasn't there yet. Yeah. So that's where I'm at on that. So let's get that top 3 down to 1. Let's get that top 3 down to 1. On you, Ryder.
I'm here thinking between the Giants and the Broncos, man. I actually like what you said about the Colts. The Colts, I would put the Colts in my top 5 because I do agree with you there. But top 2, man, is definitely my Giants, man, and then the Broncos. I'm gonna have to go. Low key, bro, I feel like I gotta go Giants, man, because that's like the bright spot of that whole team, bro. It's like even though they've only got one win on the season. It's like what's been consistent. The one thing that's been consistent is that D-line play. Everything else has been up and down for them, but that D-line play has been consistent. Them boys getting after it, and Kayvon is. I feel like he doesn't get talked about enough.
Hey, I fuck with Kayvon,
bro.
I like Kayvon. I like what he brings, that intensity. You know what I'm saying? He could run. He's strong. Like he plays the game like it's supposed to be played. I like Kayvon.
And if you watch him, he's been elevated ever since rookie year. Like he's been taking the next step. He hasn't just stayed the same. You feel me? He's been taking the next step, adding to his game. So I like KT. I like Brian. Brian's just been consistent, and he's really getting after. And I feel like this could be. I think wouldn't this be his first double-digit sack season if he stay on path? Because I think he's been
Burns. No, I think he had 10. I think he had 10 piece in Carolina, right, Anthony?
I think in
it was around that
2022.
Yeah,
he had 12 one season.
Oh, okay.
I was too. He I definitely see him in the double digits. And then like you said, Abdul Carter, he's got all the talent.
That's that Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, he's got all the talent. You know what I'm saying? If you watch him, he jumps out on tape. He's still a rookie. He does a lot of rookie things. So he's only gonna get better as he just gets comfortable and gets more reps in. And then of course Dexter Lawrence in there. Dexter the same dude, even though his sacks aren't showing up yet. I still like what you say all the time, Mark. You say is multiple ways to affect the game, and he's an intricate piece in that. To where he's drawing attention. He's still getting pressures. He's getting interceptions and trying to take it to the crib.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, and then they've really got they've got good depth. They got a good coach over there, Dre Patterson, that teaches them boys up, and they got DJ Davidson over there. They got they got guys behind them they can really come in and still, they can still count on them to hold it down. So sure. Yeah, them boys loaded over there.
For sure. Well, who you got, Anthony?
I like the Giants the best. I think they've got depth and they've got inside and outside guys. Of course, Dexter Lawrence in the middle, but even Abdul and his ability to go inside and make some guards kind of look silly with his speed moves. And he obviously impacts the game off the edge. So I like the Giants a lot. I'd give some consideration to the Rams. They just have guys all over the place on that defensive line that have been stepping up. So I like Los Angeles a lot too. But for me, it'd be the Giants. And I also think when you look at all of these defensive lines that we mentioned and you kind of stack them up against each other, we're looking at them as individual units. But if you look at the defenses as a whole, I think that the Giants defensive line, kind of like Ryder was saying, that's the bright spot of that team. They don't get as much help from their secondary as some of these other defensive lines get. Like that whole defense is really predicated on the Giants defensive line winning because they've had a lot of open receivers. Even last week against the Saints with Spencer Rattler throwing the ball, he had a lot of open guys. And the Giants defense still found ways to impact through their pass rush. But when you look at some of these other defenses, they've got some better secondaries to pair with. But the Giants defense is just all their defensive line. So I think they deserve, those guys up front deserve a lot of credit for what they're doing there.
I'm going to go with the Colts. The reason why I'm going with the Colts, again, I just think they can do it inside and out. They're getting to the quarterback, and they're playing in a brand new defense. They're playing in a brand new defense, and guys are still attacking. They're doing a good job on the run. They're setting edges. They're getting at the quarterbacks. They're creating turnovers up front. Like, they're doing all the small intrinsic things that I feel like down the road, if they stay healthy, it's going to pay large dividends. I like the way that they run to the ball. Holy shit. I mean, they run to the ball. Like, their inside guys are 300 plus and scat back into the ball. So I really like that. I like how they play on third down. And then, you know, with the way the offense is running, the guys have a tremendous amount of time to rest because, shit, they're averaging 15, 16-yard plays. So, like, they're ready to get back out there and put their ones back out there and have the same production as they had the first, second, third drive. So I really like them. You know, but I would pair them a little bit with the Rams because I like what the Rams have. That they're very young, and they have those speed merchants on the end with Verse and Young. And then they had that kid Fisk inside. I like him, the kid from Florida State. That kid's gonna be fire. And they have a lot of energy. Then they also have, you know, they have our boy Davis from Clemson. Tyler, I mean, I like the way his twitchy. He's doing some good things. So, like, I like that line too. I'm just gonna give the Colts the edge just based off the inside maturity and the depth that they have on the edges, for sure.
I like that, bro. I say the Colts, man. Them boys play like they all got a battery pack in them, man. They're coming off the ball. They're running to the ball. Like, it's like they're in competition with each other more so than anything. Just trying to see who can get back there the fastest. So I do like the Colts pick. That's smooth.
Hey, Anthony wanted to do some individualism. He wanted to pick your brain on, like, who he thought was the top end, the top D tackle. I said, ooh, I don't really want to do that. But if you want to do it, you can go with your top edge and your top inside guy.
Man, it's dang near too many, bro, to just really like lock in on one.
That's why I did the
unit.
Because
we could all have different ones, but we could talk about it though. You know what I'm saying? We could like, you know.
I'm gonna do three on the inside. Well, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna let y'all do it. Y'all go ahead and do it. You give your inside now.
On the inside, obviously Dexter Lawrence stands near the top for me. I mean, again, the way he moves around the defensive line too, like, he got a lot of attention for the amount of pressures he was getting from the zero last year. The advanced stats on that, the amount of pressures he was getting lined up over the center in particular was absurd compared to the rest of the nose tackles in the NFL. Yeah. But he also moves all over that defensive front. You could put him anywhere up on that defensive line, and Dexter Lawrence is just going to have a day. So I think just his versatility really separates him from the pack for me on the interior.
I ain't gonna lie. Like, I love all my guys. But Jeffrey Simmons right now, bro.
Hey, he in my top three. He was in my top three.
Jeffrey doing shit right now that
he going crazy.
I was like, is he really want to? Jeffrey running to the ball. I mean, we were watching film the other day. Jeffrey played 100,000 snaps. Like, he's a different type of dude this year. You can see the hunger in him. He understands, like, you know what I mean? If they give me the one-on-one, I got to make the best out of it. He's flying to the ball. His leadership, he's strong, he's tough, man. I'm really liking Jeffrey on the inside right now, for sure.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, I agree. I agree with both of those. Dexter Lawrence, Jeffrey Simmons. Man, I like who I had written down here, man. I like I like Buck. And I have to go with my dog Leonard Williams over there in Seattle.
Ooh, yeah. Bro, let me elaborate on them two right there. Hold on. See, I didn't want to bring out Buck because, you know,
that's your guy. You felt like you was
I didn't want to even do that.
That's why I'm gonna do it for you.
But bro, let me just go ahead and say something about Buck. You know what I'm saying? It's the way he runs to the ball, bro. That motherfucker like a middle linebacker, bro. I've never seen a man that tall and run to the ball like that, bro. Like, sideline to sideline, crazy. Like, I've never seen nothing like that in my life, the way he runs to the ball. And then Leonard, it's like Leonard is like it's like he just started all over again. He just came out of USC and Seattle drafted him first overall.
But,
he is getting to it right now.
Man, talk about moving.
I didn't want to talk about those two guys. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to really bring the Dex thing up because come on.
That's what we're here for, bro. We gonna bring it up for you, man.
Y'all back it.
You work with the top defensive lineman, so it's okay for you to say your own guys, bro, because they the top. You feel me?
I just wanted to hear y'all point. Anthony, look, I want to know though, from an edge standpoint, like I already know who you're gonna say, but I want to know the person and why.
I think you're expecting me to say Nick Bonito because we talked earlier and I mentioned him, but it is Brian Burns for me right now, playing at the top of the game right now. But I had to mention Nick Bonito because I feel like he doesn't get talked about enough. So that's why I want to bring him up, because I was watching that Chargers-Broncos game a couple weeks ago, and he was just flying off the edge. The get off that this guy has is absolutely ridiculous. The speed that he brings off the edge, he impacts every single passing rep just with that speed alone, and he is a handful for those offensive tackles. But so is Brian Burns, and Brian Burns can win with power. He can win with speed. He can move around, and he's even been dropping in the coverage recently for the Giants. They've been trying to get a little disguise up in the front, and he's been making some plays in coverage low-key too in those hard flats. So it's Brian Burns for me, playing at the top of the game right now. I've been so impressed with what he's doing, but I had to bring up Nick Bonito just because he's been so electric off the edge for Denver.
Man, I gotta go with one of my favorite defensive ends and someone that I looked up to whenever I was coming up to try to model my game after. Man, Danielle Hunter, man, like he's just consistently just been that guy on the edge to me. So I'll go with Danielle, man, over there. They got a nice little combo over there with him and Will Anderson. He's got a deep bag. Talking about Danielle, he's got a deep bag. He can give you the power. He could set up the finesse off of it with his spin move. So yeah, I really like Danielle Hunter. And then also, man, I like Carl Granderson, man. From New Orleans, he's a guy I got a chance to play with. And he's got like his sacks. His sacks may not be the prettiest, just as far as just winning immediately. He's gonna give you a lot of hustle sacks.
He's more of an effort sack type guy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He's gonna give you a lot of effort sacks, which is good too. You need that. But I also like how he shows up in the run game. He's got I had some stats put up. He's got 19 solos. That's got to be up at the top of all of those guys. He's got 19 solo tackles. I don't know how many totals he's got. Probably 26 total tackles. Like, that's just showing up in the run game. Showing up, he's running them down. He had a clip go viral. He had ran down a running back or receiver that broke down. He hit like 19, 20 miles per hour running down a receiver 30 yards down the field. Like, so you're doing stuff like that, showing up on the tape, even outside of that, and then you're getting hustle sacks, showing up 4 or 5 sacks on the season. That's big to me. So yeah, those are my two guys I enjoy watching right now.
I'm gonna go Burns, bro. Burns he's taking advantage of opportunity. I'm gonna go with Burns, and then Miles, man. Miles is another level. Like, Miles is gonna be in that MVP conversation, I feel like, every year. So I'm gonna go with those two, man. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Oh, for sure. That boy Miles unreal.
But that goes back to, that leads us up to this question. Like, obviously, to kind of tell them a little bit about your story and how you got into playing defensive line and stuff like that, so I can kind of lead into these other questions that I have for you.
Say that again. I think I lost you.
Just go into tell them how you started playing defensive line and and how was that transition and stuff for you and all that type of stuff. Going back to high school.
Shoot, man, it started back. I was playing quarterback, and take it back even further. Little League, I played quarterback and defensive end. That was my thing. And then once I got into Katy, I went to Katy High School in Katy, Texas. Once I got to Katy, kind of into the system in junior high, if you're the quarterback, you just go play quarterback. Yeah, so that was I was just playing quarterback. Got into, throughout high school, kept elevating with that. But I kind of hit a wall my sophomore year, and I was just like, I honestly just was not even having fun playing at that time, and I just I guess refound my love for defensive line. I would be watching. Shout out my dog Corey Bethley. He was a D tackle that I played on the team with, and he ended up going to TCU. But I would actually be watching him out on the sideline. I was like, I just remember watching him. That was my boy too. So he get a sack, he get up, he turn. I'm like,
Boy, having fun out there.
Yeah, I really miss that. Like D-line, man, it's just it's something about it. Like the dopamine and the adrenaline rush they give you, getting into the backfield, making a play. Like it's different. I was throwing touchdowns and scoring touchdowns, running. And it's just a sack, a TFL, just like a monster play. Like it doesn't compare, honestly. And so,
hey, let's talk about that. How was that feeling of your first sack, and when did you get your first sack?
First sack. So my first sack was, I think my first one was like, it was just kind of like a half sack. And so I was just kind of like, it was cool, but that first sack where I really came off the edge, boom, sack, forced fumble, like that's what really was like, yeah, like this is where I'm supposed to be. That's when I was like, this is really, like, this was the good move for me.
Right.
Cause I was like, this just feels right. And this is what I want to do. I refound my love. I refound my love for the game, and really just finding my true calling within the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, that was it right there. I went into my coach's office and I just asked him. I was like, it's kind of weird because, like, your sophomore quarterback that you got plans for going out throughout the rest of his career, coming up on varsity and stuff. It's like he walking into your office telling he wants to play defensive line. So it wasn't really accepted that well, but they let me make the move, and yeah, I just never looked back. Like I said, got that first sack. I knew that D line, the trenches was for me. So yeah, man,
that's for sure. Well, look, man, too. Also, I'm big on talking about football is cool and it's great and everything, but there's definitely other things that the guys want to do besides play ball. I think that football is something that you love to play it, and it also gives you a hell of a jump start on doing things when you're done with ball in regards to like new businesses and purchases and real estate, things like that. Is there anything that you're doing right now from a business or from like a project standpoint that you kind of want to throw out there to people and stuff like that?
Sure, man. So I got my mobile detailing business that I'm working on right now. Precision Fleet Group.
That's the hat right there. Showing the hat, right?
Yeah, I got you know what I'm saying? Check me out. I got the hat on right now. So I've got a great team with that. And we're looking to really turn up the market out here. It's a big thing out in Cali, out in Florida. People want to take care of their cars the right way. Down here in Houston, it's not a lot of knowledge on how to take care of your car the proper way to extend the life of it, and to make sure that you're you spend all this money on a brand new car. You don't want to be taking it through these Mr. Washes and stuff, and the mechanical joints is just scratch your paint up, these swirl marks. So we're actually, we're gonna help them out with the restoration and all that, the paint correction, ceramic coatings, just doing all that. So that's my big project that I've been working on right now. Get that going, and then shout out my dog Jadon Mickens, 7-8 year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion with Tampa Bay. He's got a lounge opening up in Third Ward, High Society compound. It's a membership-based compound, membership-based lounge, networking society. So get your memberships, get locked in because it's limited. It's gonna be the biggest. It's gonna be the biggest thing in Houston. It's gonna jump off for sure. So yeah, I've been working with him on that, helping him out. But yeah, just moving around, man. Just taking advantage of the time to I guess away from the game. I'm still training a lot, but spend time with the fam and just work on some business ventures, get things popping.
Right. Okay.
You mentioned there that you're still training, and it just reminded me of in my coverage of the New York Giants. I remember a couple of years ago, Andre Patterson mentioned that you really bulked up one of those off seasons, got up like over 20 pounds. And so I want to ask you about that and just the level of dedication that it takes day in and day out to go through a season. And even when you're not in season, just to stay prepared at any given moment. What's that like, just keeping that intensity and that level of preparation on a 365 basis?
I mean, shoot, like a lot of people just see our job as you know, as a 6 month thing or just during the season type of gig, but it really is a full year round commitment because I mean, if you anyone who works out, anyone who's trying to stick to a diet, anyone who's trying to like you'll know like if you just take a week off, like you're setting yourself back. So these are all things that we have to take into account for. It's a certain way our bodies have to look, a certain way, certain goals that we have to hit by the time that we get, into camp, into the season. You really can't afford to have any setbacks. And so it turns into a whole 365 deal. So, even right now, while I'm sitting here, I'm back in Houston waiting on my next opportunity, whatever that may be. I have to stay prepared. I have to get up every morning and go work out before I start working on any business ventures. Before I start, doing anything else, I gotta get up early and I gotta take care of the main thing. So, just making sure that my body's right. I did gain. I got up to like 310 pounds at one point. I was playing because all right. So I came out of college. I'll make this clear. I came out of college and half the team saw me as a defensive end, half saw me as a defensive tackle. And so I was kind of hovering around at like that 275 point, just kind of not sure where I would end up because I played both in college. And I ended up, with the Giants, and they saw me as a 3 tech. So I gained the weight going into year 2. They wanted me, above 300. So I did bulk up a lot. I felt good, moving around like that, but had some injuries, and then I ended up with the Saints at the end of year 3, going into year 4, and they put me back on the edge. And so now it's time to drop weight. Now it's time to get faster. And so I did that, and then kind of dropped a lot of weight down to like 270, back from 300. And so then things didn't work out with the Saints, and now I'm back home, and I'm like, okay, like I'm probably gonna go ahead and stay on the edge. So now just keep on working on my speed and the so that kind of gives you an insight. It's like it's always just kind of an uncertainty depending on how people view you, but you just kind of have to like hone in and just keep yourself in the best shape possible. Especially like a versatile player like myself to be able to do multiple things. So, I've kind of over the past year, I've kind of found a second home back on the edge. I think that's more of my natural position, just kind of how my body fits. So I'll probably stay around this weight, but yeah, it's a full job. Imagine gaining 40 pounds and losing 30 pounds, and then you got to maintain 10-pound gain and gain some muscle and get faster. So it's no joke for sure.
All right, cool. Well, Ryder, I really do appreciate you joining us, man. That was a lot of fun breaking down some of the best defensive lines and hearing a little bit more backstory on yourself. So just thank you for joining us. And Mark, I'm really happy to be doing this with you.
Hey, man, we're going to keep it going. Like Ryder, we might I want to bring you on here, too. I like what you think. Anthony, man, for sure, man. Me and Anthony, this is our second year?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And everything I've asked him to do, he's done it. We've made some adjustments to the show and stuff like that. He never had any resistance, man. I appreciate you for that because I know ultimately, this is something that you love, and obviously we love it too. And for us to be able to come together and do it, and this is the first episode, I think there's some pretty amazing shit. You been in New York, I'm in Indy, living in the Airbnb, working. Ryder's, he's in Houston, so for us to be able to tri-state this thing like this is pretty big. So let's keep it going, baby, man. Ryder, appreciate you coming on, man. And I'm sure I'll hit you up later on today. Anthony, the same with you. Man, let's keep picking the lock, man. Let's do our thing.
Nah, for sure, yo. This is a dope setup, man. Y'all do a lot of dope work together, man. So excited to see where it all goes.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
All right. See ya.